Now, away from that story, the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, is set to have 12
whatever any candidate has done wrong, we would take appropriate action.
Now, it's not just about the students, but some teachers as well, we understand, were apprehended. Do we know how many of them?
Yeah. So far, we have about 14 teachers who have been apprehended across the country. These have been handed over to the police, and the police will process them for court.
How about the way forward? Is there anything more that we are to expect from WAEC?
Well, so far, all that we are doing is to review as many of the cases as have come to us. And then we also want to appeal to all teachers, especially as we are going into the WAS, that teachers should desist from going there with phones and attempting to assist the children in the examination.
Is there any caution, once more, to the candidates who are equally sitting the examination?
Well, all that we say is we've already circulated the rules and regulations governing the examination, and would ask that all candidates stick to these rules so as not to, get themselves into any kind of trouble.
Now, still on education, President Akufo-Addo has hinted the University of Ghana could be renamed after Joseph Kwame Danquah for his role in the establishment of Ghana's premier tertiary institution, the University of Ghana. Now, speaking at the 75th anniversary Thanksgiving service of the University of Ghana, the president said that his uncle, J.B. Danquah's pioneering work to reject the British report that proposed a single university for the whole of West Africa and Nigeria and to mobilize Ghanaians to have their own university led to the establishment of the University of Ghana. He insists that one will not be wrong in describing the Ghanaian scholar and politician as the founder of the institution.
Anniversaries inevitably beget memories. And for me, the most poignant of those memories is the inestimable work Dr. J.B. Danquah did to mobilize the Ghanaian people to insist on the building of this university. It was the inspired visionary leadership of this great scholar and nationalist, who was described in his lifetime as the doyen of Gold Coast politics. But following the setting up of the Elliott Commission, tasked by the colonial government to inquire into the possibility of establishing a university in West Africa, enabled the Ghanaian people to reject the original decision of the British colonial government based on the majority recommendations of the Elliott Commission that a single university be established in Ibadan, in Nigeria, for the whole of the then British West Africa, and got it to agree through a series of passionate interventions in the then Legislative Council, and with the enthusiastic support of the farmers of Ghana, to the creation of a separate university for our country on the basis of his minority recommendation. How felicitous was that decision, and how greatly it has contributed to the growth of modern Ghana. It would be wholly appropriate and not at all far-fetched to describe Joseph Wati Danquah as the founder of this university, a fact which on the 75th anniversary of his existence should be vividly recalled by all of us who have been and are the beneficiaries of his work. Indeed, in many other jurisdictions where there is less heat in their politics and more attachment to the facts of the historical record, it would not have been out of place to have had this university named after him. Who knows, one day it may well happen.
Now, Vice Chancellor of the University.
It may well happen.
Now, Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Nana Abampiamfo, says 11th October will be commemorated as Wear UG Day, urging all members of the university community to wear branded clothes and post them on social media.
On 11th October 1948, the formal opening of the University College. On 11th October, we will have a Wear UG Day. Formal opening of the University College. On 11th October, we will have a Wear UG Day. 11th October, we will have a Wear UG Day. Day, wear something made from our beautiful 75th anniversary.
On the basis of what contribution individuals, what contribution corporate bodies have made to the development of the institution so-called, then of course, certain facilities are named after such individuals. And so within the University of Ghana campus, for example, there are streets, there are buildings, there are facilities that are named after individuals who, in the opinion of the University Council, which is an independent body, of course, such recognition was given. And so I will not be in the position to say why, because I'm not too sure what it is that uniquely JB Danquah did in terms of the establishment and development of the University of Ghana that requires that the name be changed. Aside that, as a state that is sovereign, and the recognition by the basis of having attained an independence that gives us the name Ghana, I thought that an institution of this kind, which was the first of its kind also, deserves to bear the name Ghana. And so for me, I do not see a good enough reason why we will want to change the name from the University of Ghana, which is so well established across not just Ghana, but across change the name from the University of Ghana, which is so well established across not just Ghana, but across the edges of the university. When we meet ourselves and we need to tease ourselves a bit, we say we are the only university of Ghana. And that is difficult. I think that the country Ghana succeeded.
At that time, 4 public universities were renamed, if you recall. Many believe the president was actually preparing the grounds to have the University of Ghana actually renamed after JB Danquah. So, per what you're saying, don't you think renaming the institution after him will be a good way to probably honor him for his role in the establishment of the university?
Well, that is what I'm saying. I think that I should think that it is the president and government has to do that in consultation with the university's council. And if the university council thinks there is good enough justification for it and makes a proposition that is accepted by the council, then it comes to pass the president. As a personal opinion, as a country that is sovereign and which is our first county council thinks there is good enough justification for it and makes a proposition that is accepted by the council, then it comes to pass the president. As a personal opinion, as a country that is sovereign and which is our first kind of institution that is named after the country and is propagating the country, of view that it's good enough, it's good enough. There's no reason we could look at alternatives at which in the country, of view that it's good enough. There's no reason we could look at alternatives at which
in a very congenial environment, just as any other person. Do you agree with me? Yes. We are afraid that you might have been exposed to substances like lead. So we're going to bring in the public health to test each one of you at the expense of the company to ensure that none of you is having any problem, health issues. Again, we will temporarily close down the factory and summon the owners to the head office at Accra to come and explain why they are working under these conditions.
Apart from being exposed to hazardous chemicals, workers lamented poor working conditions and remuneration.
So far, me here, almost 8 years, I'm working here. My money is not reach 800.
Some of the workers Because of the acid, if they get infection, so some of them stop.
Yeah, bread. Yeah, bad night. Me say me bad night. Show me no safety. There's nothing about safety covering me. And no answer ya be juma. Ya be ye juma. O ba na wu pra kra ye nhwehwe machi. O machi mask. Eh jao. Fireman for more. Obi pra kra even stand here they be call hospital kra no. It's very difficult for them to send you to hospital. Ade ya wo mpa the whole year. O betu ye pay ma 2 Ghana cedis. Denmark 30 cedis. That 30 cedis is more than my year no. Almost 10 cedi aside. 20 cedi okwa senator munim so mutu 20 cedis.
Felix Nuchuga, a supervisor at Ferrous Metal Company Limited, applauds the EPA for its proactive move.
Today I'm happy to see the EPA people in our company, and they are trying to help us. We the citizens of Ghanaians, we need to have a good health. Not that to make ourselves that we are looking for money only. But I'm happy today that the EPP people are coming in order to support us. So that whatever we are also doing here, we also do it in a nice way. So that our healthy condition to be permanent for us.
Meanwhile, the EPA boss had this word of caution for industries and individuals who pollute the environment indiscriminately.
Indiscriminate burning of other materials, including fabrics and weeds and all those things. We are discouraging seriously, and we are arresting people on that. So we are asking the public to reach out to EPA, make the complaints if people are burning and burning indiscriminately. What we have not been able to tackle as of now are vehicular emissions, and we are in conjunction with DVLE. We've set the standards, and we soon will roll out how to deal with vehicular emissions. And when the time comes, we need the support of the public, including the media, to be able to stop these vehicular emissions. All of us here may have a vehicle one way or the other, and all our vehicles are smoking. So don't be worried if EPA asks you to park your vehicle because it is smoking, to go and refit it. These are some of the things that we can do to enhance the quality and the integrity of the air that we breathe.
However, the EPA disclosed that waste segregation should be prioritized in the country to help curb environmental pollution.
And this is what we want the people of Ghana to know, that it is important to segregate our waste. So these waste recycling facilities can get these materials to work on.
In order to tackle climate change and attain the sustainable development goals, the country must ensure strict adherence to its environmental laws. Otherwise, attaining the 2030 goals could be missed.
My name is Carlos Caloni for Joy News. Now, from environment, let's focus on health. And we are taking you straight to the central region, where the management of Cape Coast Teaching Hospital says it's making giant strides to turn its infrastructural and other equipment challenges into delivering more quality healthcare to people of more than 5 regions across the country. Now, CEO of the hospital, Dr. Eric Kofi-Njedu, says the facility is on course to becoming a world-class leader in tertiary healthcare delivery as they continue to tackle their challenges one after the other. There's more in the following report.
The hospital, being a public tertiary healthcare facility, has served accident emergency needs of commuters plying the Accra-Abidjan Corridor Road and the Cape Coast Kumasi Highway due to its strategic position. It's a referral hospital serving the central, western, northern parts of the Greater Accra region. Chief Executive Officer of the hospital, Dr. Eric Kofi-Njedu, praised the stakeholders for nearly 3 decades of remarkable contributions in bringing quality health care to all.
We want to see a hospital that is driving steadily on its path to becoming a world-class leader in tertiary healthcare service delivery, medical education and research. Well, first of all, let me establish that as a teaching hospital, the first thing we needed to do was to identify the gaps that the clinical exigency was imposing on us. At the time, we identified aging and inadequate infrastructure, inadequate human resource mix, illegal encroachment of hospital lands, as well as obsolete equipment and technology, absence of relative hostel, absence of neonatal intensive care unit, And human resource, that was not enough in terms of numbers and mix. To this effect, a strategic plan was drawn for the first 5 years, which sought to address these gaps. And I'm glad to inform you that when you come around, in terms of infrastructure, certain developments have occurred. We have recently secured funding to complete a relative hostel, which has been a long-standing problem within the hospital and the region. In fact, if you came around some few months ago, you will see that patient relatives are sleeping outside, and that is not helpful in terms of the type of excellent care we want to deliver. We have also secured funding to put up a blood bank that seeks to address some gaps in maternal health service delivery. We observe that outside, and that is not helpful in terms of the type of excellent care we want to deliver. We have also secured funding to put up a blood bank.
Slowed down, held back, inhibited. What you get out depends on what you put in. Rejuvenate your engine's performance with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, because true performance knows no bounds. New and improved Shell V-Power Nitro Plus removes up to 100% of performance-robbing deposits to rejuvenate your engine's performance. Continuous use in gasoline direct injection engine fuel injectors.
Is to enable it fully function as a teaching hospital.
The year-long anniversary on the theme 25 years of quality healthcare, responding for excellence climaxes on September 20 with a grand derby. Richard Kwejo for Joy News.
Now from health, let's switch to politics, where a former member of parliament for Evaluate Ajomoro Jura constituency is discounting claims of a Dombo lineage and tradition in the current MPP flag bearership race. Catherine Apeko maintains there is no tradition in the party that must be followed to ensure that all descendants of founding fathers must take their turn to serve the party, making way for a Dombo to be the next flag bearer. Now, according to Madam Afeko, the widely trumpeted Danquah Buzia Dombo tradition, recently translated to mean Dr. Bawumia is next to lead the MPP, is a misconception. She argues that Dr. Bawumia is not of the Dombo tradition and there is no descendant of Dombo in the contest. She spoke in an interview with Love FM's Nana Boachi Yadom in Kumasi.
We don't have a Dombo contestant. Dombo is a Dagati man. There is no Dagati in the race. So if you want to strictly go by a Dombo follower, then you should find SD Diedong family line. We don't have one out of the 10, and I've checked because I've been in the game for a while.
Is Dr. Bawumia not from the Dombo side?
No, he's not. He's a Kusas and he's a Mamprusi. He's not. He's from Mamprusi land. He's from the Nairi's place. Dombo is a Dagati man. So we also need to know the history. Dombo is not Mamprusi. Dombo is not a Kusar. He's a Dagari. And the grandson is here with us. So if you were to go by that logically, there is no tradition of Dombo contender in the race.
Are people distorting history?
I wouldn't put it like that. I'm just using your platform to educate and correct the misconception that if indeed it is time for a Dombo, there is no Dombo in the contest. The group that we know and the 5 that will be cut off, there is no Dombo. There is no Diedong family member in the race, and there is no Dombo tradition that has a person in the race that is being sidelined. No, there is no Dombo in the contest. The group that we know and the 5 that will be cut off, there is no Dombo. There is no Diedong family member in the race, and there is no Dombo tradition that has a person in the race that is being sidelined. No. He's a Dagari, and there is no Dagati man in the race. And that has a person in the race that is being sidelined. No, he's a Dagari, and there is no Dagati man in the race.
MP Kofi Ako Nokwe, whose first term in Parliament she describes as a waste of 4 years.
I have a track record, 8 years in Parliament, ECOWAS Parliament, a cabinet ministry, with all humility that I will get the seat back with the support of my party folks and disgruntled NDC members who are so disappointed in him.
All right. right, joining us via phone is Akbar Yusuf Khomeini. He is a campaign aide to Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. You are welcome to join us. I want to find out from you. You've heard the claims by the Alan Tremante's camp about the Dombo tradition in your party. She holds the view that your camp does not in any way represent Dombo because the Vice President is from Northeast region, not Upper West, where Dombo comes from. What do you make of this assertion? Hello, Akbar.
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. So I'm actually asking that the former member of parliament actually is making the claims that Bawumia does not come from the Dombo tradition. And so she holds the view that your camp doesn't in any way represent the Dombo tradition. And so I'm asking.
This week at Macy's, it's the perfect time to save on everything they need for back to school. Like 30% off classic jeans and more from Levi's. And save 15 to 50% off updates for Every Space Now during our big home sale. And save 35 to 70% off select fine jewelry. Plus, Macy's Star Rewards members can earn rewards even faster during Star Money bonus days. See Macy's.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
What do you make of her position?
Well, throughout these campaigns, it is in the nature of our opponents to be approbating and reprobating. You know, the Dombo angle was thrown into the narrative as a response to their cry that it is somebody's turn. All right? And we made the case that, look, as far as the NPP constitution is concerned, there's no question of TQ in our party, all right, on the choice of who becomes a leader. But they persisted in the argument that, well, there's a tradition that establishes a certain queue, all right, or turn for leadership in the New Patriotic Party. Then we said, well, if there should exist any turn in the choice of who becomes a leader, then it is legitimate to assert that it is the turn of Dombo and those who adhere to the policy. Then it is legitimate to assert that it is the turn of Dombo and those who adhere to the policy to avoid the effects of Nkrumah's avoidance of discrimination, of being that, well, Danquah and his adherents have had the opportunity of leading the party, same as Buzia and those who subscribe to their politics. So if there's any question of turn, it should be Dombo or people who subscribe to the politics of Dombo. But we have consistently made the point that we must go by the letter and spirit of the NPP constitution. Article 13.7 has provided for the qualifications of who leads the NPP.
All right.
All right? There's no question about origin. There's no issue. In fact, it is not one of the qualification requirements to be a Muslim or to be a Christian or to be an Akan or to be a Momprisi or to be a Northerner. The qualifications are consistent with the national qualifications. You must be an active member of the NPP for the last 5 years. All right? Those are the essential requirements. And from day one, we have always admonished them that the declaration that it is somebody's turn, somebody must be made leader because that person contested in 2007. It's a recipe for disaster because what it does is to alienate a section of the country and say that as far as they are concerned, they do not deserve to lead the New Patriotic Party. We are happy that they are coming to the realization that campaigning on the basis of sectionalism would only harm the New Patriotic Party. Indeed, from the camp of Dr. Bawumia, we have made the point that to reduce the eligibility of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to the leadership of the NPP solely on account of where he comes from and which deity he worships, it's a total misrepresentation of who Dr. Bawumia.
All right, so also on that score, Akbar, do you think that tribal politics in this contest is really relevant at all?
No, it is not relevant. It is not relevant because for those who appreciate the history of the New Patriotic Party, we cannot be invoking ethnicity, religion, on who becomes the leader of the New Patriotic Party. And we have consistently cautioned them against the use of where like there's a tradition, somebody is in the queue, and I've always made the point that it doesn't matter how you examine the queue theory. And I'm happy that they are realizing that.
All right.
It leads inevitably to a troubling outcome for its proponents. Whether you are looking at it in the context of our founding history, whether you are looking at it in the context of previous elections, and whether you are looking at it in the context of hierarchy.
All right.
How is it possible? How is it, if we are to go by their logic, how is it possible?
Okay, Akbar, now let's shift our attention a bit to the Super Delegate Congress. We are just 2 weeks to the Super Delegate Congress. We want to measure the chances of your candidates per the responses from the delegates so far. How has it been like, and what are you looking for?
It has been excellent. I mean, the reception across the country has been great. And the party has firmly decided that they would make Dr. Bawumia the next leader of the New Patriotic Party. Because, like I said, they see in him hard work. They see in him dedication. They see in him humility. They see in him vision, which he expresses with great humility. They see in him a great soldier of the New Patriotic Party, who in the last 16 years has demonstrated that he would give his all in defense of the New Patriotic Party. So across the country, his message has been well received. I'm very, very certain that we will secure not less than 70% of the vote on 26th August this year. We are fortified in that view.
All right. Thank you so much, Akbar. We are so grateful for your time here on Joy News. Now, still on politics, this time we are going to the Katamanso municipality, where the chief executive of the assembly, Samuel Okoh-Amankwah, who is vying to become the New Patriotic Party's parliamentary candidate, has described as abysmal the performance of past MPs and current legislator Joseph Akwete-Tetteh. He says these parliamentarians representing the people on the ticket of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, over the last 3 decades have been awful, and it is high time the party is ditched. According to him, 2024 presents a new opportunity and pays for the NPP to present a formidable candidate who could unseat the incumbent. Samuel Okoh-Amankwah actually disclosed this after submission and filing of his forms. There's more in the following report.
Since 1992, has voted for the National Democratic Congress, NDC. After 31 years, Municipal Chief Executive for the area, Samuel Okoh-Amankwah, says the area has been poorly represented in Parliament and has called on constituents to ditch the NDC. After filing his nomination form, he believes he is a better candidate to unseat the current Member of Parliament and NDC's candidate, Joseph Akwete-Tetteh, in the 2024 parliamentary elections.
Those challenges they've been with us, and the NDC keep winning. Meanwhile, they have not done anything for us. I'm not sure if the NDC, they have tied all our roads for all these 32 years. We will be complaining about roads now.
That's right.
So if these problems have been with us and they keep winning, it means there's something that we can do as a party, MPP party, to take the seat from them and develop Katamanso. With togetherness, love and peace among our party members, I'm telling you, it's not difficult to change the narrative.
Inshallah. Okay.
We are going to win the seat 2024, and it's not going to be difficult.
Okay.
All we need to do is to come together, stay together, and work together without undermining each other.
Right.
And with that unity, we can go and win the seat in 2024.
Some party faithful, throwing their support behind the MCE, say Samuel Okoh-Amankwah stands a better chance of making history for the party.
Honorable Dr. Samuel Okoh-Amankwah is the best candidate for Katamanso because he is having all the qualities to become the MP. And whenever he sees you, before you greet him, he even greets you first. So I know that, inshallah, definitely he will take the seat in Katamanso.
He's been on the field before. He has contested the seat before. 2008, he was our candidate. If it comes to the traditional leaders, he flows with them. He knows every corner of their constituency.
He is very humble, respectful, and apart from opposing,
there's nobody we are going to choose in Kpong to be our MP.
We know definitely, inshallah, when Okosi mounts the parliamentary candidateship, definitely we are going to have victory is going to be on our side, and this is why we are for him.
Samuel Okwamankwa is calling for unity within the party to accomplish the task ahead, with the internal elections expected to be held between September and December this year.
We'll take a short break and return with more. Stay with us.
Score HD, the new exciting football channel, is now available only on HD Plus and brings you football from around the world. Watch Sadio Mane and Daniel Kufitre in the top weekly match of the Bundesliga 1 and DFB Cup, Primera Liga, Copa de la Liga Profesional, see Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League, as well as daily sports news every other hour. Also, get updated on Messi and Mbappe on PSG TV and many more. Feely on HD Plus channel 151. Agronaede, HD Plus, the Feely experience.
My name is John, and this is my long-time crush. My cookie dipped in strawberry yogurt. On this scorching hot afternoon on our way back from a long job hunt, we met this good Samaritan who offered us a ride.
6 weeks later,
big night, you shall a special wedding reception for her bride and groom.
And there she is, my cookie, dipped in someone else's yogurt.
Don't be like John, who holds the mullah, calls the shots. Play Game Pack Games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times daily to become one of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now. Or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Pack is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
Now, welcome back. Now, let's take you to the Tema metropolitan area, where residents of Tema are angry over the indiscriminate parking of transit haulage trucks along the city's major roads, posing danger to lives of road users. Now, residents say the authorities' inaction over their concerns has emboldened the transit drivers to flout traffic rules and endanger public safety. There's more in the following report.
Which used to boast as one of Ghana's foremost planned cities, is gradually losing its shine. And some have described the city as a decaying city due to a number of factors, including what you can see in your picture, where you find transit trucks parking by the shoulders of the road here on the Harbour Road, exposing motorists to a lot of danger. Residents have been expressing concerns over this issue and would want to speak to Masaudu, who is a concerned citizen here in Tema, about the situation and what he makes of the situation.
As for this particular road, the transit people have taken over the road and it has narrowed the road. It has made sometimes when you want to cross the road, you don't see your view well. And it has caused 1 or 2 accidents on this road. Several accidents, not 1 or 2. And because of here, the street light and other things too are not working. When they park, darkness overshadow the area and robbers too also attack. The zebra crossing too is fake. So even the children crossing, a car has hit children 1 or 2 or 3 times here due to this particular situation. And it seems the authorities are not concerned with it. A number of accidents has happened, which I've seen it with my own eyes. Yeah, I think a tanker driver, a small car, 2 cars, and the road was too narrow. So the other car need to hit the big truck on the road. The other uses the transit cars which are parked on the road. So they've been seeing it, and the police people are all aware because this is their route.
In the evening, it's dangerous. We need to move. Even if the road is swelling because of the weight, it's swelling the road. When you talk to them that they should not park here, then they are fighting with you. The Burkina, I don't know whether Burkina or Mali. So you don't need them, and people are complaining. Because sometimes when people drop from the car to cross. If you don't watch it well, you will hit by a car. It's very dangerous. So we need to remove it here. We need to remove them.
Have you had any experience yourself or anybody hit by vehicle?
Yeah, several times. So nowadays, we have some guys who normally stand here with a flag to direct the people to cross the road. Otherwise, they will hit by a car. It's very, very dangerous. In the evening, you can't stand them. All the time, I fight with them. We really concerned to TMA. We reported to commander, the regional commander. I called them. They came here. Still, they are still parking. You don't know. This is our problem. We need to remove them. It's very dangerous. They are spoiling the road.
This is Community 8, number 3 primary school, right by the road that goes to the harbour. Now, when the kids close from school, they come to this particular bus stop here and they cross to the other side of the road to pick vehicles into their various homes. But right across the road is what you can see, the trucks parked there. And according to residents, this is actually exposing the school kids to a lot of danger.
This transit driver defends the illegal act with this excuse.
This is a sort of the thing with the park for here. Both times, if you come out for the fishing harbor, they're not going to give you your money, your advance, your everything. So that if you know, say you take that, if you don't go, you know, say you dey road top, you don't go. But they go fit come park you for a year. They go say they go bring you money. You go fit park like 3 days, 4 days before you go see the agent. You go bring the money for you. If like you load finish, they give you your money, your papers, your duties, everything. You do your road top. You don't go park for you. We dey park for you, they steal us. They steal our battery, our diesel. So you know we our problem. Me I dey here like 3 days with that. Park for here. Since Friday now I come for here.
When contacted, the Executive Secretary for Joint Association of Port Transport Unions, Japtu Ibrahim Musa, attributed 3 core factors as the root cause behind this menace.
As a union, there are a number of factors that are contributing to that situation over there. Key in that is the fact that we do not have a designated truck park for loaded trucks that exit from the port. The GPHA has shown the way by providing a truck park that is mostly used by empty trucks behind the Community 1 timber market. This is a facility that GPHA made huge investment in acquisition, in putting in the required features and facilities. We have a mosque, we have washrooms, we have the required security, lighting, and all of that. But this is primarily used by empty trucks. Well, that is one reason, the lack of conducive parking space. The second factor from our investigation also has to do with the delay in the payment of advance by cargo owners and their agents. Most of the time, once the cargo is loaded, the transporter has to wait for the advance to be paid, which is part payment for that contract. Now, until the payment is made, we are unable as transporters to officially start the trip. So sometimes you see these trucks parked there waiting to receive their advance. I remember 3 years ago, at the sensitization forum that is organized annually by the Shippers Authority for transporters, this issue came up very strongly to the point that as a union we were even pushing for a policy of no advance, no loading, so that before a truck enters the port, at least the driver or the transporter would have given the advance. So once you are cleared with the documentation side and you exit the port, you have no reason to loiter or park at unapproved or unauthorized locations. And then finally, some of these trucks also park there for reasons that I'm sure you might be interested in investigating further, to do some axle with control facilitation. That's how I choose to put it. You realize that in most towns where you have axle stations, you'll find a lot of obviously overloaded trucks parked. Our little investigation shows that these trucks are also parked there because something has to happen at the axle control stations to allow them easy access to go. So these are three of the factors that are combining to account for the problem that we see there.
Even though officials of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, declined speaking publicly, they maintained the drivers have no justification for parking on the shoulders of the road, since this transit terminal, which can take up to 205 trucks at a go, has what it takes to contain the situation. But the executive secretary of JAPTU vehemently disagrees.
Within the whole Tema port community, aside the new truck park and the Banda Yard, and the new truck park takes maximum 400 trucks, Banda Yard can do at most 120. Meanwhile, we have over 8,000 trucks registered to do business in the port community. So if at any given time 20% of these trucks are within the port community, you can imagine the size of congestion that we will witness. Primarily, it has to do with the inability of the assembly to provide us with space for parking.
Reacting to the concern, MC of Tema Metropolitan Assembly, Johan Ama Ashite, assured that comprehensive strategies are well underway to end the menace. Strategies are well underway to end the menace. Entering into marriage about the dangers of toxic relationships. She emphasized that hoping for a change in such partners after marriage is a risky gamble and urged those caught in such situations.
Please, it's not a red flag. It's a red signboard. Flee. I'm begging you. You can't deal with them. You don't know when you are offending them. You don't know when you are making them happy. I mean, you don't know. I've handled so many of such issues. We've handled it as a church. Oh, let's counsel them. It will work. Let's work with them. It might work. Oh, maybe when you get married and you show him a lot of love, it will work. Or you show her a lot of love, it will work. My darling, it doesn't work. All the killings, the stabbing, the what is as a result of these things. If you are going out with somebody, you are not married yet, and the person makes you feel like you are nothing, my darling, it won't change.
Great. All right. Thank you very much.
If you are in a relationship and the person hits you once, my darling, it will happen a second. It will happen a third. I've handled too many of such cases. It doesn't work. Advise yourself now.
Meanwhile, playwright Ankelebo White is concerned about the penetration of Western culture into the Ghanaian marriage system and advises young couples not to bow to such trends.
It has nothing to do with the church. It has more to do with our blind copying of Western culture, without realizing that when it comes to culture, we are richer than they are. They should be learning from us. They should be copying from us in certain ways. Unfortunately, because they have the wealth, so it has become like a family that is taking orders from the rich cousin who has no sense. But everybody now follows his lead, without realizing that there is nyansa and there is, yes. So we should be careful. Negotiation, patience with them. There is always somebody on your side in the family. So let's say your father is being difficult. He has a brother. He has an uncle. Go to that person. But Adam, what happens, the problem we have quite often is that many of us start looking for family only when we want to get married. Then in that case, they will show you, because we don't have any bonding with you. But right now, build good network with your family. There is a good base. Most of us have thrown it away, but you will live to regret it. And so build it. Then when it gets there and your father is proving difficult, He has a brother. He has an uncle. He has the family head. He has a good friend. Go through them. Go through them. Or talk to your mom. Mommies know how to make us change our minds, no matter how strong-willed we are.
Now, that's all we have time for on this edition of the news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Carlos Kelodi. Have a great afternoon.